office right now. I've checked my fly like 15 times.
Should we go him?
I'm good, right? All right. Justifiably proud Ox parents, friends, family. Most importantly, brilliant, accomplished, and proven resilient men of Theta Chi.
Surprise, surprise!
It is somehow my honor and privilege, and we'll circle back to that in a second, to welcome you to the first, likely the last, but you never know because I think this is awesome, University of Michigan Theta Chi Chapter Commencement Ceremony. Today is a day of celebration, but for one fleeting moment, I'm going to ask all of you to take yourselves to a very dark place emotionally. I want you all for one fleeting but painful moment to imagine what we'd be dealing with here if the Theta Chi dads had been in charge of organizing this. Oh my God. We owe these moms a huge debt of gratitude, a huge round of This is some shishi thing. I have seen alcohol served in this parking lot, but usually with someone's mouth open and like a vodka bottle, dumping it into the open mouth of someone. And no one's wearing a tube top in 16 degrees either. I can't even believe this. All right, so you're probably wondering what the selection criteria was for the commencement speaker. I'm wondering myself too. I'll tell you what happened, and you guys can help me perhaps. I mean, a few months ago, Jody and I were invited to the Berman's house for a nice evening, and Rob and I were sipping some, I don't remember what it was, bourbon perhaps, I don't know. It's Rob, so. And he just casually brings up that we're going to do something like this and we should get the ball rolling. And then he casually mentions that perhaps I would like to be the master of ceremonies for this evening. And I sort of smiled and nodded, and I think we went on with our evening. And I got to be honest with you, the rest of the evening, the memories are a little bit vague. They sort of come through in waves. I'm not really sure what happened, but suffice to say, we had a really fun night that night, and I can't remember most, if not all of it. And the next morning, I'm having my breakfast and reading the paper and having my coffee, and it sort of came to me that, oh my God, I think that I've just been indoctrinated as the MC for the graduation ceremony. I'm not really sure how this happened. I think Rob rolled me a little bit. And then my next response was, of course, like anyone else, like, oh my God, do I have both of my kidneys also? I'm not sure. But I do, so thank you, Rob. This has been a year of unprecedented anxiety, challenges, compromises, and sacrifice. Of this, there is no doubt. But also, I hope for all of you, a year of silver linings. And I sincerely hope that tonight is a silver lining night. Parents and friends, silver lining time. This would not have happened in the big house. At the end, we're going to call your young men up one by one. We're going to hand them their diploma. There's a surprise in there. Don't spoil it. And they will return to their seats where, different from the big house, their parents will be anxiously awaiting their arrival. And here's where mom and dad can give them a hug, give them a kiss on the cheek. You can pinch the cheeks. You can squeeze the tush. You can't do that in the big house. Whatever you want. You can cry. If dads cry, that is the best. The crying dad, magnifique. I hope so. Extra bonus points for crying dads or crying sons. For 60 grand per year, you do whatever you want when your son returns to the team. What a wild ride this year has been. How many times have we heard the phrase, the new normal, over and over the 14 months? Too much sacrifice and compromise. The reality of sometimes simply having to settle for much less, much different. These moments of realization of what we used to do without a second thought, but can't do now, have regularly risen up over the past year. Sometimes even lately, bizarrely catching us by surprise as if we weren't used to it. I think we have all had these. Now, speaking of compromise and settling for much, much less, prior graduation speakers have included ex-presidents, governors, Nobel laureates, Pulitzer Prize winners, CEOs. Tonight, you have a gastroenterologist from a sleepy little town in South Florida. Now, I can imagine how you feel. As if you went to a fine restaurant, you had a reservation there for months, and you order the veal, and the waitress comes out and says, "No veal, we have chicken." And you're like, all right, it seems like a good restaurant, I guess I'll have the chicken. How bad could it be? And then the waitress comes back out and says, "No chicken. We have this Uncrustable that's partially open. And there's a bite taken out, and it looks like an adult bit into it. We're not sure where, but here." That's what tonight is like. But I'll do the best I can. 0 Nobel Prizes. 0 nominations. No Pulitzers. This guy, the guy on the bottom left, that's my fault. That's my fault. I pointed and it was not meant, yeah, sorry. I think we all recognize that guy on the bottom left. That is Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Bottom right.
University of Michigan class of 1990. Commencement speaker from 2012. And I got this all off of Wikipedia, so you know it's all completely legit. Once, while reporting in Haiti during the Haitian earthquake, he was summoned to the aircraft carrier USS Carl Vinson to perform emergency brain surgery on a 12-year-old earthquake victim who had sustained head trauma. Summoned. He was summoned. I very rarely get summoned. When I do, it's usually in my house and it involves killing a roach. That's what I get summoned for. But what Dr. Gupta does not have, I'm fairly certain, that's a real, yeah, is this slide. Now, this is real, it's mine. Does anyone, we can have a little back and forth, does anyone have any idea what this is? Any pre-medical students out there? There it is, Benji. What's the answer? That is a Clementine sticker. That kid has a bright future ahead of him, I swear. Okay. Now, we got part 1 of the question. Where is the Clementine sticker? I'm not going to let you guess. I'm going to give you a hint. I found this Clementine sticker, surprisingly, about halfway through a man's screening colonoscopy. And that's a picture of it, and I was surprised as you are. Ladies and gentlemen, this is serious. This is a tangerine sticker adherent to a grown man's intestine. Now, as a gastroenterologist, as you might imagine, suffice to say these eyes have seen a lot. Almost none of it, this is borderline, almost none of it appropriate for mixed company, and it's pretty close to impossible to shock me but this one got me good, okay? This one shook me to the core. It is my belief that many lesser men, upon seeing this, would have panicked or fled the room. Not me, not Ice Water Man, no. My instincts, my training kicked in as soon as I saw this, and with a very steady scope, I removed it carefully and I removed it successfully. Now, like me, I'm sure a lot of you have questions. How could such a thing have happened? The honest answer is we don't know. We have to accept the reality that we probably never will know, but I feel it fair to share his side of the story. He was playing a round of golf. He was in his golf cart, checking his scorecard with one hand, distracted a little bit while he bit into the peel of the tangerine, because you know how hard those things are to start, right? Thinking he had chewed and swallowed a chunk of tangerine peel, which is a whole other separate issue, but that's what his alibi was, seemingly unaware of what he had done. But here's the question that haunts my dreams, that wakes me from the middle of the night. Why did he not just spit out the tangerine? He's on a golf course. He's not in anyone's living room. He's sitting on a golf course. Spit out the tangerine. Also, how hard is it to use your fingers to start the tangerine peeling process? So many questions, so few answers. He says he swallowed it. He looked me in the eye like a man. He said he swallowed it. I believe him. I believe him because I need to believe him. Graduates, friends, family, I share this story with you for a few reasons. First of all, it is freaking hilarious. But more importantly, like so many things in life, I believe there is a hidden lesson for our young graduates as they step into adulthood. One innocent, distracted moment can translate into a lifetime of a cutie sticker forever stuck to your large intestine. The cutie sticker, it's more than just a sticker. It is a life's metaphor. Take note, graduates. Whether it's your marriage, your personal health, your family structure, your friendships, you cherish and value them. They are strong, but they are delicate. They strengthen with attention and they strengthen with gratitude, and they all atrophy with inattention. And none of them are to be taken for granted. They require meticulous attention, daily care, and perseverance. One quick moment of distraction, of indiscretion, or thoughtlessness, or corner cutting can have long-lasting consequence. Now, before we call our graduates up one by one, I leave you with a few words of advice as you embark on what all of your parents and I know will be an incredibly successful life's journey. Number one, don't quit easy. Remember when you were in 4th grade, it was not that long ago, and the 5th graders told you how hard 5th grade was compared to 4th grade? Well, the world is unfortunately chock full of these 5th graders. Do not listen to them. Do not ever mistake a speed bump for a roadblock. They may initially look identical, but they are very, very different. If you are sitting under this tent right now, it means that by definition, you are already incredibly accomplished and capable. The world, fellas, is yours. There should be very few, if any, roadblocks if you are willing to put the work in. So get to it, shake things up. Actually, first, if you wouldn't mind cleaning things up, because your parents' generation left you with a little bit of a mess out there. Not unfixable, but, not so great. Resilience or grit is an incredibly valuable attribute. What frequently separates success from failure is not how smart you are, but how willing you are to pick yourself up, brush yourself off, Get back in there after you get knocked down. And I can promise you one thing, you will all get knocked down. Number 2, and there's only 5 of these, don't worry, I'm not a monster, okay? Err on the side of kindness and generosity, always, as best as you can, even to those who may seem undeserving. Allow yourselves to feel the pure pleasure that comes from extending a kind or charitable gesture to a friend in need, or even a stranger, or even someone who you know has 0 chance of paying you back. It is absolutely addictive. Be mindfully present for it when it happens. Let it wash over you when it does. And I assure you that the pleasure and satisfaction of a new fancy car, or a vacation, or a fancy meal, all wonderful things that you guys are all absolutely deserving of, but they all pale in comparison. There is an ever-growing need for empathy and compassion in this world you are entering, and I don't see that need diminishing anytime soon. You will never regret extending an act of kindness, but you may very well regret a missed opportunity to do so. Number 3, the biggest one, thank your parents. Thank your parents, thank your parents. Parenting, guys, is really, really hard. And if you don't think so, if you're thinking of a few unforced errors over the last 22 years, just wait till you try it. There is no SAT or ACT or GRE for parenting, but I think it's safe to say that if you're graduating from the University of Michigan, if you are under this tent as a member of a truly exceptional fraternities of amazing young men, the best of the best, whoever raised you did a lot of things right. Now you should absolutely use this day to reflect on how hard you all worked, and you should all be incredibly proud of your personal accomplishments. But believe this, you in all of your glory did not just appear here spontaneously in your current form. You are all, at least in part, the product of innumerable carpools, pediatrician appointments, parent-teacher conferences, emergency room visits, nagging sessions about your schoolwork, yelling and screaming sessions about your transgressions or lapses in judgment, or perhaps brushes with the law. Moving your dirty dishes from the sink into the dishwasher. I'll bet most of these guys literally still have no idea how the dishes get from the sink into the dishwasher. It's magic. Magic. Garbage can diving for lost retainers. Auto body repairs, many of them. None of them were your fault. None of them. The never-ending gestures of unconditional love and unwavering support. I will say those words again. Unconditional love and unwavering support. These are all events in the Ironman pentathlon that is parenting. So thank them, and not just with your words. Definitely say those words. You'd be amazed at how good it feels to hear them. Thank them with your actions. The days of the one-syllable reply to how was your day? How's your new job? How's your new apartment? How do you like your new friend situation? The days of good, fine, okay should be behind you. You are adults now. When mom or dad call or text or FaceTime you, stop what you're doing if you possibly can, and most of you possibly can. Pause FIFA or FIFA, whatever it is, I always say it wrong. And engage. Number 4. You, men of Theta Chi, are incredibly blessed to have an indelible fraternal bond with each other. All of you have learned that there is no I in team. Many of you have also, however, learned that there is an I in MIP. By the way, where are my MIPers at? Let me see show of hands. Come on. Respect. Rob? No? No M like peace. Plenty of eyepiece, no M. Plenty of eyepiece. We'll just go around the room. It wasn't your fault. Everyone was doing it. You don't know why they selected you. You don't even know what they were talking about. My two favorites, I tripped on some uneven pavement when I was walking at 3 o'clock in the morning, and the policeman must have thought something it was. I just tripped on some uneven pavement. Or the famous attack of the stomach virus at 3:30 in the morning outside of Skeets. That's my other fave. Yeah. Anyway, it's expunged from your record, but it lives in here, guys. Gentlemen, 10, 20, 30 years can go by. You may unfortunately see each other with diminishing frequency over the decades. Life can get in the way. But when you do, and I promise you all this, it will feel like zero time has passed since you last saw each other. You will reach out to each other with stories of accomplishment and celebration, and unfortunately loss or crisis. And you will be amazed at the fortitude of this undying bond, and how willing your brothers are to both join you in celebration and come to your aid in a time of need. No expiration date, none. You will also see that in post-college life, this bond of friendship does not grow on trees. Remember that this bond can serve as a shelter from the storms that life can and will inevitably bring. Number 5, and that's the last one. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, please, for God's sake, look before you bite into any type of peelable fruit. Thank you, guys, and congratulations.